Supply chains run on a deep, almost invisible layer of trust. You rely on historical relationships to keep the gears turning. For 3 years, I relied on a supplier I'll call Warren. We had built a stable rhythm. I received volume discounts and priority fulfillment, the tangible benefits of a relationship I had invested in carefully. That stability ended when a routine delivery arrived significantly short of the invoiced amount. I followed standard procedure. I signed only for the physical goods sitting in front of me and documented the shortage on the delivery note. A comfortable business relationship often masks structural vulnerabilities. You assume the standard paperwork will protect you, but those procedures only matter if both parties agree to follow them. Warren refused to acknowledge the discrepancy. He insisted the shortage was accounting error on my end, disregarding the delivery note entirely. I responded by withholding payment strictly for the disputed amount, keeping the rest of our accounts current. This diagram shows the scale of his retaliation. I had 40,000 pounds of stock that was already paid for and due for release. Warren had it frozen, refusing to let it leave his warehouse until I paid the disputed invoice. By seizing my largest physical asset, Warren assumed he had gained total control over my company's ability to operate. This is the definition of false leverage, weaponizing a critical, unrelated asset to force a concession on a separate issue. Instead of calling Warren to argue, I called my solicitor. We shifted the response from a high-stakes argument to a calculated legal strategy. Under contract law, these transactions are isolated. Withholding paid-for goods to force payment on a different invoice is unlawful. We sent a formal demand. Warren had 5 business days to release the stock, or we'd apply for an urgent court order. The demand letter changed the landscape. Warren was no longer just an aggressive negotiator. He was now operating with a documented legal liability. Defining these legal boundaries removes the weight of an opponent's psychological pressure, replacing it with the predictable mechanics of a contract dispute. But a legal victory doesn't help if your business stops moving. I knew I couldn't wait for a court date if the stock remained stuck. While the letter was in transit, I vetted new suppliers, replacing a 3-year dependency in a matter of days. Before the week ended, I secured a new supplier arrangement on comparable terms. On day 4, Warren's nerve broke and he released the stock. By that point, however, the new supply line was already established, making his previous supplier status irrelevant. A legal threat only carries weight if you have the operational independence to back it up. True leverage always requires an alternative path. Once the stock was in my possession, I filed a formal claim for the original invoice, storage costs, and the resulting losses. Warren initially contested the claim, maintaining his position that the shortage was my error. His defense fell apart because of that single piece of undeniable evidence. The annotated delivery note proved exactly what had arrived, and exactly when the dispute started. Warren settled before the hearing. He paid the full claim plus all legal costs. Documenting discrepancies at the point of receipt is the only way to prevent an opponent from rewriting the facts of a dispute later. I informed Warren that we would not be renewing our arrangement, permanently ending our 3-year relationship. The replacement supplier has since proven to be more reliable and better priced than the previous one. Leverage is often a facade. It depends entirely on the target not knowing their rights or having no other options. The temporary crisis of that week triggered a search for alternatives that the previous, comfortable arrangement had made unnecessary. When a partner attempts to use false leverage, they often end up highlighting a path to a more efficient operation. If a supplier or business partner ever tried to use leverage they didn't have, tell me what happened in the comments. Subscribe. Leverage only works if you don't know your rights.